Hello guys, this is part 97 of ASP.NET MVC tutorial. In this video, we will discuss implementing autocomplete functionality using jQuery Autocomplete YZ. This is how we want the output to be. We want to list all the student within a table, and we also want to provide search functionality. For example, if I type letter M within the search text box, we want to display all the student whose name starts with letter M. And then as soon as I select a student, and then once I click search button, we want to display that selected student within the table. Let's see how to achieve this using jQuery Autocomplete YZ. For this demo, we will be using this table, TBL student. Here is the SQL script to create and populate this table with some sample data. Where is the script? Here is the script. The first step is to add an edu.NET entity data model based on this table, TBL student. Here I have a blank ASP.NET MVC5 application. So let's go ahead and add edu.NET entity data model. So how to add a edu.NET entity data model in the blank ASP.NET MVC5 application. Go to the model folder, add new item, and here is the edu.NET entity data model, and what we will keep the name of this we will keep the name as student data model. Okay, as student. Click add. So we want to create database from database. Click next from this one. Click next and click new connection. So we need to give our database name here, means connection to this server, our computer names. Copy this, close it, give your server name here, and select your database from the list. Our database is motivational. You can check the test connection. The test connection is succeed. Okay, then click OK. from where you should select we have got this. Now we will change this motivational database. We give it name as motivational motivational DB context. Okay, make sure the spellings should be correct. Now, and we want our connection string to be saved as motivational database context within our web.config file. Means now click next button. Now from the we need to click select this table, that is student table. And click the finish. Once again click OK. It will ask you for 3 times. Okay. Now go ahead and change that to student. Change this name to student. So rename and remove this. Okay. Let's build our solution. So that this student entity class is compiled. Now let's add a controller. But so build is not succeed yet. Yeah, build started now. So we have to keep wait before adding a controller. So build is succeed. Now let's add a controller. So how to add a controller? Go to the controller folder, click add controller, and we will use I think MVC 5 controller empty. Add. Now we need to give name it as home controller. So click add. So first let's implement search functionality, and then we will see how to implement autocomplete feature. All right. Okay. So the first thing to do here is to create an instance of our motivational database context class. So within this auto-generated file, in which auto-generated file? Here in this auto generated student dot this one. Okay, in this auto generated file we have motivational database DB context class, which will help us connect to the database and retrieve students information. So within this MVC demo model namespace we have motivational database context. So within our home controller, let's include MVC demo dot models. So where is the controller? Here we have to include using MVC demo dot models. Okay, and let's create an instance of our motivational database context class. So what we need, if you go to the notepad and see the coding, means I type this line first. So we are creating an instance of this class motivational database DB context class, and this object DB object has got student property, which is going to give us the list of student, and we are going to pass them to the view. Okay, now let's go ahead and add index view. How to create an index view. Keep cursor here and add view. We need MVC5 view. Add. Okay. Now from here you need to change this to list. Okay, and model class should be student MVC demo models. So we want this scaffold template to be list. Okay, this scaffold template to be list. So this should add. Now click add button. So this should add the index view. Okay, now we want our index view to look something like this. How our view look like this? So we want a table with the border, and we don't want the create link and these link edit, means go back to your coding. So what we don't need edit. Where is the edit? Go to last one, I think. So remove this TD. this 2D should be removed. And then let's also get rid of this table head. This should also be removed. Let's get rid of S2 tag and paragraph. Where is the S2 tag and paragraph? Yeah, it is here. So okay. And let's add border of our table, and let's use a div tag and set the font family. So here you should type border is equal to 1, and we need a div tag. So where should be the div tag be used? Here, div, and set the font family. That use style attribute, and let's set font family to Arial. So how to add style font family, set to Arial. Close it, and take this closing div at the below of this table. Okay, so at this point, if we run the application, we should be able to list all the student. Okay, all right. So run the application. Wait for the result. Oh my god. Origin object after not set to an instance. Something went wrong. Now we will have to see what is that here. We are missing something TR. Okay, look at the TR from here, notepad. What is happened to it? Check the for each. Here we are missing something. Okay, variable in model. Okay. What went wrong here? For each loop close table. I think I had made a mistake in the controller coding. Okay, Here I should give student name also, and we have not given it. Where is the what we went? Okay, DB student. Okay, take it from here. DB student is should be written here. Here to be written. Where is going coding here? Type it here. Now again remove this and save the changes. Now go to the controller, not controller, index.cstl, and run our application once again. So we get the result. One thing is missing here. We did not get the name. Okay. So the application we should be able to solve the students. Okay, all right. So the next step is provide a search interface. Okay. So let's flip to the index view. So we need a form tag to be able to search and to generate the form tag. We use HTML dot begin form, HTML helper. Okay, so let's wrap the call to begin. Where we have to go, come here. So let's flip to index where we go to your what we need to do. This code should be copied and paste it right below the div style. Where is the div style? Here you need to paste it. So we need a form tag to be able to search, and to generate the form tag we can use HTML dot HTML helper. Okay, so let's wrap the code to begin from HTML helper, with the using statement. So that we will have the closing form tag auto generated for us. So using at HTML dot begin form, and then we want this word name. Here the using statement, HTML dot begin form, and then we want this word name, and then a text box. Here is the text box and a button control. Input type is equal to submit value search button. Okay, value search. Okay, so let's type name and let's say we want that to be bold. Here it is the bold, name is bold, and then we want to text box. So add HTML text box. So let's specify the name of search term. We have specified this namespace search term. Okay, and then I am going to use different overloaded version. Overloaded version means this is the second parameter of this text box HTML helper, where we can specify the value. The value is going to be a null. But then look at this. I am interested in this third attribute, HTML attribute. Okay, if I remove this null part, then there will be show a message. So I am interested in the third attribute, HTML attribute, and using this HTML attribute, I am going to specify ID. Okay, for this text box. In a bit, we will see how we are going to make use of this ID. Okay, of this ID. So I'm going to call this text box as text search. Okay, we call this text box as text search. All right, and finally we need a submit button. So input type equals submit. Input type equals submit, and the value is search. All right, so this should give us the interface, and once we click the search button, this one, we should be able to search based on the text, based on this text that we have entered into the text box. So we need another index action method which respond to post operation. So we need another index action method which respond to the post operation. So this one, so we need to go back to our coding of home controller. Here we need to copy this, code, so this one is responding to the get. This portion is responding to the get request. So we need another index action method that respond to HTTP post. All right. So basically, when we enter something into the text box, into this text box, and click search, we should be able to pass that entered value to this function. Which function? To this function. Okay, index function. Okay, so let's include a parameter. First of all, we need to copy this first action result method and make some changes in it. So copy this, and here need to do what? http post. Okay, below this post we are going to do this. So when the web form first loads, it will list all the student. Okay, so let's use the same name as the parameter search. First of all, we need to include a parameter. Now here we need to type string. Okay, and the name of this parameter must match the name of the controller, means the text box, so that the default ASP.NET MVC model binder can pass the value of this text box. Where is the text box of this text box? Okay, to this parameter, means the MVC, ASP.NET MVC model binder can pass the value of this text box to this parameter. Which parameter? Back to the home controller, to this parameter. Okay, here. So let's use this same name as the parameter search term name. Okay, so copy this from here. Here is this search term. Come on, go to the home controller. Here, type it. Okay, so if string dot is null empty, means what we need to do, go back to your notepad, and from here you need to copy the code. Here is the code. Okay, copy this whole code. Paste it here. Okay, so if string dot is null or empty, then let's say we want to retrieve all of the student and then display them within the table. Okay, so here we have an instance of our motivational database context. db student should give us all the student, but then let's create a variable which can hold list of student. We have to create a variable. Okay, which variable? This variable, list variable. Copy this, go back to your coding, type here, paste here. Okay, so we have created a variable which can hold list of students. So list of students, and let's call it student. We have called it a student. Okay, so student equals ev dot student dot to list. Something is to be taken from here. Okay, so student is equal to db dot student dot to list. Okay, on the other hand, if that search term is not null or empty, then we know that user has typed something into the text box and we want to filter the students based on their name. Okay, we want to filter the student based on their name. So student equals db students is going db student is going to give us the complete list, but then we want to filter them. So I am going to use a where clause, where x, such that x dot name, the name of the student should start with whatever they have typed into the text box. So let's pass that to this function. In this function, start with function. Okay, and then go ahead and convert that to list. We have converted that to list. And finally, let's pass this student list to our view. Okay, where is the view? Here we view. So at this point we should have search functionality. Means we need to change this also. Go back to your coding. Here is the student. Only type student. Go back coding. Okay. So let's go ahead and run this. Run this web form. So when web form first loads, it will list all the student. So we are going to run this first. Okay, we need to click this also, close that one. Okay, we have got this name text box. So when the web form first loads, it will list all the student. And look at this, when I type M, then click search, I have the two students whose name starts with M. On the other hand, if I don't type anything, click search, means if I don't type anything and click search, all the students will be listed. So that is how we have implemented our controller action method. So if the search term is null or empty, then return all the students. All right, very good. But notice that at the moment, I don't have autocomplete. I type letter M, and it does not show up all the student whose name starts with letter M. So here is not, we see the autocomplete feature here. All right. So let's implement that using jQuery autocomplete YZ. So the first step in order to implement the autocomplete feature is to download the autocomplete YZ from jQuery UI.com. So what we need to go to our web browser jQuery UI.com. So where is the jQuery UI.com? Here it is. Okay. So click the download button first of all. Here you can see here is the download button. Okay. Now from what we need to do, if we uncheck this toggle off, so when we click the download button, this is going to display all the UI YZ. So there are several of them, but let's we select uncheck all of them, and then we are interested in autocomplete YZ. Where is the autocomplete YZ? There is the, if I click here, so if we are interested in autocomplete YZ, the moment we select that, notice that all the dependencies are also auto selected, and then click this, you can see that all the dependencies are also selected. Then click download button, this one. So this should download the required JavaScript and CSS file. I have already downloaded them, so you should download for yourself. And these will be downloaded in a zip file, so you have to extract them. And once you extract, means I show. So I have extracted this folder. Okay. So within this folder, we are interested in JS file and CSS file. So go to here, and so we will copy jQuery UI min.js file and move them. So means you should select this, copy, and paste it in the JavaScript folder. Where is the script folder? Here it is. Paste it. Okay, and we need also this file. Copy it and paste it into script folder. Now we need jQuery UI min.css file. Copy this and paste, but paste it into the into content folder. Where is the content folder? Here. And we also need a image folder. Where is the image folder? This one. Select it, copy it, and paste it into the content folder. Okay. So at this point we have the required CSS and Java script file. Okay, so let's go back to the index view. Where is the index view? Here. Let's drag and drop this CSS file and these two jQuery files. Okay, and let's fix the path. Means if you should delete this view bag index and paste. First of all, you need to it happens to me lots of time. So what you need to do, drag this file jQuery and drop it here, and you also need to drag and drop this file also. Okay, you also need to drag this CSS file and drop it on the top of these two script. Oh my god. Sometimes it's make me so drag it or paste here. Okay, so we have drag and drop our required script file. So we have, there is automatically appear tilde symbol, which uh, which is the representation of the root directory to navigate to the content directory. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to write some JavaScript code, to implement autocomplete feature. So let's use a JavaScript tag here, script type equal to text. So where we have to type the, okay, what we need to do, go back to your notepad. From here you will see the coding that we need to copy and paste. Okay, this is the script which we have to copy. Okay, I am just going to show you this part only to make you understand it first. I will show you what you need to do now. Okay, now what are those some JavaScript? We have to write some JavaScript to implement autocomplete features. So let's use a script tag here. This is the script tag. Okay, once we also need to closing script is also required, so copy it and paste it here below this. Okay, so we are using a script tag here, script type equal to text slash JavaScript. Okay, so when we type, this is the text box. Where is the text box? We need to show you the text box. This is the text box for which we want to implement the autocomplete feature. So we need to first find this text box control, and if you look at the HTML that we have written here, where is the HTML? Here, search, text search. Okay, and then what is the ID of the text box? Text search. So we are going to use this ID to find this text box. Okay, and then implement the autocomplete feature. So to find that text box using jQuery, so dollar symbol, we are going to write a functions. Okay, so dollar, we are going to use the ID selector. So what to do? This is the ID, this is the dollar symbol, and ID selector in jQuery, ID selector is pound symbol. Okay, pound symbol is which symbol? This need to be okay. So we are going to use the ID selector. In jQuery, ID selector is pound symbol. This is the ID selector hash. This is the pound symbol. And then the ID of the text box control, which is text search. Okay, this is the text search. So text search find that control, and then all you need to do is invoke the autocomplete function. Okay, and this function expects some options, so we need to pass those options. Okay, means here we will type AUT autocomplete function. Now what are those options? How do I know that? Now on this jQuery website, where is the jQuery website? Here. Click the API documentation, and here you need to click this options widget. So you need to now click autocomplete widget. Where is the autocomplete widget? If you click this, here is the options, all options, these one, all these. Okay. Now from these options, if I click at the source options, then you will see what. There are several options. We have shown you the several options. The most important one is the source. Okay, so what is the source is going to do? Look at this. When we type a letter into this text box, you know we want to go out. Means if you go back, okay, there are several options, but the most important is the source options. Okay, so what is the source is going to do? Look at this. When we type a letter into this text box, in which text box? In this text box, you know we want to go out to the database, retrieve all the students whose name starts with the that letter M. Okay, so we need a controller action method within our application which can take the text that we type into this text box, go to the database table and retrieve all the names and give it to this text box. Okay, so first we need to implement a controller function. Okay, and that is what we are going to specify using source option. So let's go ahead and specify, and the way we specify, again you can check documentation. Here look at this, how we specify the source. So if it is a function, means if you go here and click at this here, and here is the function, and then name of your functions. Basically here they have hard coded with the, this is the source, hard coded with the list. Okay, what we are going to use a function, so let's specify the source. So source colon, and we are going to invoke url dot action html helper. Okay, so go back to your coding. Here we need to specify the source. So source colon, and we are going to invoke URL dot action HTML helper, and then what is the name of the action method? We are going to implement that. Let's call it, for example, get student. We have not implemented this function yet. We will implement that in just a bit. So URL dot action get student. Okay, means we have not implemented this function yet. We will implement that in just a bit. Okay, so that is it. That's it. All we need to do is we need to implement this controller action method and we will be done. Okay, so let's get to the home controller. So where is the home controller? Here we need to come here. Okay, so let's get to the home controller and then implement get students function. So public, and this function should return JSON result. Okay, so the return type of the function is going to be JSON result. So if we come here and implement get student function. So go back to your notepad here. From here, check the coding. Okay, copy this and paste it into the coding controller home. Okay, what this coding is saying, the result should be written as JSON result. Okay, so the return type of the function is going to be JSON result, and let's call it get student. We have called it get student. Okay, the name. And another important thing is the parameter, because keep in mind whatever we type into the text box, whatever we type into this text box, okay, we need to pass that to this function. Which function? And to this function. Okay, so that it can go out to the database and retrieve those students. So what should be the name of the parameter? That is very important. That name should be term. Okay, because that is what jQuery expects, and you can see that in jQuery documentation. Okay, in the functions, this is the term property, single term property. So the callback has two arguments. If you read this, callback gets two arguments. Okay, with the single property, single term property. So we need to specify that has the parameter here. All right, so let's copy this and make the required changes. So we need to create an instance of motivational DB context class, create a student variable, list of student, and then so basically whatever the user types there, what we need to do, we need to take that term and then filter using where clause. Okay, so where x such that x dot name start with whatever term that is coming into this function, into this start with function. Okay, and then we don't want to return list of student. Here we have removed the list of student and use string. Okay, what do we want to return? So when we type a letter here, means if we type a letter here, where here we actually want to show the names of the student. Okay, so we want to return a list of strings names. Okay, string names are nothing but strings. You know that names are nothing but a string. Names are nothing but list of strings. So here let's specify that where we have to specify this string. Here we specify this string, list of string. Okay, dot string students, and then before we convert it to the list, convert this term to list. You know, from the filtered student list, I want to select just their name. So I am going to use select link. Okay, functions. This is the select link function, and specify that we want just a name, and then convert this to a list. Okay, and then all we need to do is pass this student back to the view here. Okay, we have removed the view. Why? I am telling you why. Look at this, the return type is JSON result, and this is the JSON result return type. So we need to convert that to a JSON result, this view, and to do that we can use JSON function. This is the JSON function, pass the students, and another parameter we need to specify the JSON request behavior. This is the JSON request behavior. We want to do that using a get request or allow get. So that is all there is to it. Let's go ahead and run this now. Okay, look at this. The moment I type m means we have done our all coding. Now run this again. Okay. Look at that. At the moment I type m, I get the student whose name starts with letter M. Okay, you will see the effect of autocomplete by Z. This is okay. I type letter M and you can see the autocomplete by Z's effect. So I select Mark Hastings, click search. Look at that, we have that student there, right? So when we type M again, we have those student. If I type M again, we get those students. If I just leave it as M, click search, I get all the students whose name starts with the letter M. Okay, on the other hand, if we don't type anything and click search, we get all the students. If I do not type anything and click search, we will get all the student name. All right, now look at this here. Mean I type letter M, just one letter. If I type one letter, but let's say I get a student whose name starts with M, but let's say I want to control this until I type two characters. I don't want this autocomplete feature to kick in. So how to achieve that? This jQuery automatic. So this jQuery autocomplete widget has got several options. Okay, here is the several options. Go back to the jQuery. If you go back here, this min length, this one. So all the options are here. Another interesting option is this min length. So if you want the autocomplete feature to be kicking in only when the user types two characters or more, then you can specify the min length as 2. Okay, so let's see that in action. So I want to specify another option, so that means option. So let's copy that option name. So I just copied. Where is the min length? I copy this. If you go to notepad also, and here you come here in the jQuery coding, this is the min length. Okay, I specify the min length in index.html. And okay, so minimum length is going to be 2. So let's save that. So let's save the changes and run it. We have saved the changes and run it once again, and look at this. If I type M now, if I type M, then here you will not see any autocomplete widgets effect. But the moment I type A, if I type A now, then you will see this. That is the second character. We get autocomplete. Click search. We get all the students whose name starts with MA. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.